My mom and dad split up pretty early in my life, and um, actually both grandparents kind of were like that avenue to God. Kind of when we moved out of my grandparents' house, it was, that kind of fell off, like going to church and like praying consistently. I kind of started questioning God. I When my dad got married, um, his wife would physically abuse me, physically assault me. So I would question God, like, why, if you love me, like, why am I in this position, right? Um, I would literally question all the time, like, are you even there? Like, or do you even hear me? Like, things like that. Uh, I would definitely put things like deep away, right? My anger problems from there probably stemmed from that abuse at the time, and I didn't know that, in the moment, right? I didn't know, like, but I would like really get like super angry at, like, real quick. When I joined the army, I uh, I remember being in, basic training, and I I went to church one day, and I was going in, and we sat down, and the pastor was like, "Hey, I got these Bibles here," and so I grabbed it, and I I remember feeling in that moment like this was gonna save me. I didn't know what that meant. I walked with it every single day. I would keep it in my arm pocket or my breast pocket. So my wife and I actually had a big argument when we moved out into Texas, and it got real bad, in our terms. We were looking to find a like somebody to talk to, a counselor or something, and it just so happened that, like, calling around, we couldn't really find any place. And I remember going out to my car, and I said, "All right, God, like, you know what? I'm done. Like, this is it. I can't put her through this. I can't be like this. We can't live like this." It wasn't like that day, but it was probably a couple of days later. My wife came back, and um, she said, "Hey, there's a chaplain that we can talk to in the service. Can you give him a call?" So we ended up doing that, and one of the first things he said to us is, I'm so glad you guys are here, because if you would have gone anywhere else, you would have ruined your career. You would have been discharged, and it would have been a mess." That was pretty good to hear, and he had some very helpful tips and stuff for us. So, that kind of kept us together. Ultimately, I think that kept us together, and God, right? It had to been something God was pushing us to, right? In that moment of, like, surrender, it kind of happened when my wife and I were, trying to conceive. I mean, we were struggling, right? It took a couple of years, and we went through a couple of medical procedures to have a baby, and I sat there and I was like, "All right, God, I'm gonna leave this up to you. This is it. Like, we want to grow our family," and ultimately, my wife told us that she was pregnant. So that was probably that time. Yeah, that's when I was like, okay, and then probably say, because I tried to do it on my own, right? Like I said, when I was younger, I steered away, and I questioned, and I, it was. I'm not saying my life was hard or anything, but it was lonely, right? And God pushed us to go to that chaplain, or God answered our prayers with a child, right? So timing is there. It may take a minute, but God moves in great ways. So my name's Langston, and I'm getting baptized to show the world that Jesus is with you, and no matter how hard your life is, He's always by your side.